By the end of this lesson, one click in Keeper Law ceremony creates a real runtime companion. The HUD names it. The P-key opens a party panel. Keeper notices the bond, and the choice survives when the current map is replaced. We will prove all 4 results in the running game. We will also try an invalid ID and a second starter in a headless test, so the lesson proves what the code rejects as well as what it accepts. One honest limit: this choice survives doors only during the current run. Closing the game still resets it. Disk saving arrives later. This episode is deliberately slower than the previous lessons. Whenever code appears, I will first show where the file lives, then type or reveal one small block, then explain what that block owns. A yellow pause marker means stop the video and match your editor. A green play check means run the project and prove one visible result. Do not copy the entire completed file before understanding the pieces. If your project stops matching the screen, use the Chapter 6 recovery zip linked below and repeat only the current section. Close Godot before copying. In File Explorer, duplicate the complete folder glimmergrove_06_creature_data. Rename the copy glimmergrove_ch07_first_companion. Open Godot's project manager, choose Import, browse into the new folder, and select project.godot. Confirm the path contains 07 before importing. Run it once. Enter the bond house, speak with Keeper Law, inspect all 3 cards, choose Decide Later, and confirm movement returns. That is our baseline. Do not add party code to a broken ceremony. Pause on this diagram. Creature species is shared content. It describes what every bramblebud has in common: name, affinity, maximum resolve, stats, and field note. CreatureInstance is one particular companion. It points to a species and stores changing facts such as current resolve. GameSession owns facts that must remain true while the game replaces one map scene with another. The ceremony button is not an owner. The HUD label is not an owner. They send requests or display results. This separation prevents the most common beginner state bug: storing the only copy of gameplay truth inside a temporary screen. In Godot's FileSystem doc, expand scripts, then data. Right-click Data. Choose New Script, and name it CreatureInstance.gd. Keep the template empty and choose Create. At the top, type class name CreatureInstance, then extends refCounted. refCounted is appropriate because this object holds data and behavior but does not need a position in the scene tree. Save now. If CreatureInstance is underlined, check spelling and confirm both lines begin at the far left with no indentation. Add the creature species preload exactly as shown. Then add a typed species variable and current health initialized to 0. Init. Receive optional species data. Store the reference. And if it exists, copy base health into current health. The species resource remains unchanged. Only this instance's current value can fall during a future battle. Finally, heal full restores the instance from the species maximum. Notice the direction of ownership. The instance reads the species. The species never reaches into an instance. Before moving on, answer this without looking ahead. If the player owns 2 bramblebuds, should both use the same creature species resource? Yes. Should damage to one edit base health inside that resource? No. Each needs a separate creature instance with its own current health. This distinction is why content remains reusable and save data remains small. If your answer was unclear, replay the previous minute. The next file assumes this model. Right-click Scripts, choose New Script, and save game_session.gd with the empty template. Type extends node. Add the state change signal, then preload content catalog and creature instance. Add starter id as an empty string name and party as a typed array of creature instance. The signal is only a notification that something changed. It is not the state itself. Starter id and party are the state. That difference matters because listeners may reconnect, but the current truth must remain readable at any time. Add ready and call content catalog reload so the session can resolve stable IDs. Add reset new game, clear starter id, clear the party array, and emit state changed. Add has starter, which requires both a known empty id and a known empty party. Add active companion, which returns null for an empty party and element 0 otherwise. We are using an array even though this lesson creates only one entry. That preserves an extensible shape without pretending we have roster limits, storage, switching, or capture rules yet. Now type choose starter in 2 passes. First, write only the rejection paths. If has starter is already true, return false immediately. Ask content catalog for the requested species. If the result is null or is starter is off, return false. Put these guards before any assignment. This order is a safety boundary. Even if the ceremony opens twice or an invalid id reaches the function, no existing party state changes. Pause and compare the indentation and the 2 return false lines before continuing. Under the guards, store starter id. Replace party with a 1-element array containing a new creature instance for the validated species. Emit state changed, then return true. This is the commit section. Every rejection happened first, and all successful mutations happen together. Do not emit before writing party. A listener that refreshes immediately must see the completed state. Save the file and check the output panel for parser errors before registering the autoload. Follow the cursor in the real editor. Open project, then project settings. Choose globals, some layouts label this autoload. Browse to res:/script/game_session.gd. Keep the name GameSession and enable it. In Godot version 4.7, the role may be added as soon as the file is selected. Close project settings. Do not drag GameSession into main.tscn. The autoload already creates 1 node for the running project. A second C node would create 2 parties that disagree. Open project.godot from the FileSystem doc. Find the autoload section. It should contain GameSession equals *res://script/game_session.gd. The star means the autoload is enabled. If the line is missing, return to project settings and add it again. If 2 GameSession entries exist, remove the scene node and keep the autoload. This text verification turns an editor click into evidence you can diagnose. Reopen project settings and choose Input Map. In Add New Action, type Party and press Enter. Expand the new row. Choose Add Event. Select Physical Key. Press P and confirm. Use the action name party in code rather than checking the P key directly. Later, players can rebind that action or use a controller without changing gameplay logic. Filter for party and confirm the row shows P before closing the dialog. Open starter_selection.gd. Add signal selected with 1 string name parameter, name species id. In ready, change each button connection from preview to choose .bind index. Bind does not call the function now. It creates a callable that remembers which button index belongs to that signal connection. When the button is pressed later, Godot supplies the stored index. This is safer and clearer than writing 3 almost identical button functions. Replace preview with choose. First reject an index below 0 or beyond the starter array. Then hide the ceremony and emit selected with starter's index id. Starter selection still does not create companions. It reports which species the player chose. Main will coordinate the request, and GameSession will decide whether it is legal. That means the UI can fail or reopen without becoming the authority over party state. Open npc_definition.gd and add partner dialog lines as an exported packed string array. Update its dialog function to accept has companion. When that fact is true and the partner array is not empty, return those lines, otherwise return the original lines. Then click Keeper So Laws resource in the inspector and add her post choice message. Repeat for Gardener Mara and Courier Tavi. Definition's own authored dialog. Main supplies only the current fact. Avoid a growing if name equals Sola branch in main. Open main.tscn and expand UI layer. Then HUD. Add a label named objective and another named companion. Use the exact positions, sizes, font sizes, and alignments shown on screen. Add a panel container named Party Panel. Place it in the upper right and turn Visible off. Under it, add Margin container named Margin. VBox container named VBox. Then labels name Title and Details. Turn WordSmart wrapping on for details. Keep this panel text only. Creature portraits are not part of this checkpoint, and we will not imply that they are. Pause on the scene tree. Main will use node paths, so objective is not the same as objective, and party panel is not party panel of the space. The hierarchy must be UI layer, HUD, party panel, margin, VBox, details. If a path later reports node not found, compare this tree before editing code. A node path error is usually a scene hierarchy mismatch, not a reason to add null checks everywhere. Open main.gd. With the other onReady variables, add typed references for objective, companion, party panel, and the nested details label. OnReady waits until the scene's children exist before resolving these paths. Split the long details path across parentheses exactly as shown if it improves readability. Save and let Godot validate every path. A yellow warning is different from a red parser error. Fix red errors before running. In Ready, connect starter selection selected to on starter selected. Connect GameSession state change to refresh HUD. Hide the party panel and call refresh HUD once. The first connection carries a player's request upward. The second sends a state notification outward. The direct refresh establishes correct text even before anything changes. This pattern is important. Initialize from current state, then listen for future changes. Find where main asks a village NPC for dialogue lines. Pass GameSession.hasStarter into that function. Then find the starter action branch and add not GameSession.hasStarter to its condition. The UI prevention stops the ceremony from reopening during ordinary play. The choose starter guard still remains necessary because UI conditions are not security or state integrity. We use both, a friendly interface and an authoritative rule. Add on starter selected with a string name parameter. Call GameSession choose starter. Call refresh HUD, and resume the world. We refresh directly even though state changed also fires. For this beginner checkpoint, the explicit call makes the local flow easy to trace. The signal keeps other listeners extensible. If you prefer removing the duplicate later, first prove every listener initializes and responds correctly. Do not optimize away clarity before the play check passes. Add refresh HUD. Read active companion once into a local variable. If it is null, set the bond house objective, companion none, and the 2-line empty party message, then return. Otherwise, build all visible text from companion species and current health. The labels do not remember gameplay state. They are a projection of GameSession. If the UI is recreated after a doorway, calling this function reconstructs the same view from the surviving owner. The % expression fills placeholders in order. %s inserts text. %d inserts an integer. We show display name, capitalized affinity, current resolve, maximum resolve from base health, then the field note. If values appear in the wrong place, compare the placeholder order with the array order. Do not hardcode Bramblebud or 34 here. Choosing Lantern Kip or Real Fin must use the same function without a new branch. Find load map. Immediately after location label receives the new map display name, call refresh HUD, then re-enable player controls. This call is the doorway proof. Main may remove one map and create another, but the autoload remains. The new scene facing UI asks GameSession what is true now. If the companion disappears only after a doorway, first check this refresh call and then confirm GameSession is an autoload rather than a child of the replaced map. Add unhandled input. If dialog or starter selection is visible, return. If the event press the party action, toggle party panel visible and mark the input handled. Unhandled input runs after controls had a chance to consume the event. The modal guard prevents a party panel from opening behind dialog. Marking the input handled prevents another unhandled listener from treating the same press as a separate action. Save a copy, then temporarily comment out the refresh HUD call inside load map. Run the game, choose a companion, and pass through a doorway. The session still owns the companion, but recreated UI can show stale defaults because nobody asked it to render current state. Stop, restore the call, and repeat the doorway. The correct companion text returns. This narrow failure demonstrates why persistent state and refreshed presentation are separate responsibilities. Create test/validate_first_companion.gd with an empty template. Extend scene tree and preload GameSession. In init, create a session, add it under roots so ready can run, and reset it. First call choose starter with not_a_starter. If it returns true, report an error and exit 1. This first check proves unknown input cannot mutate the party. Continue the validator. Choose Bramblebud and require true. Require has starter and a non-null active companion. Then try LanternKip and require false. Finally require the active species id is still Bramblebud. Print the exact pass line and quit 0. This test does more than check a happy path. It proves invalid input is rejected. One legal commit works, a second commit is blocked, and the original identity remains intact. In Godot's FileSystem doc, right-click res:// and choose Open in File Manager. Click File Explorer's address bar, type PowerShell, and press Enter. Type an ampersand and a space. Paste the quoted path to the Godot version 4.7.1 console executable. Then add --path space.space--headless space--script space res://test/validate_first_companion.gd. Press Enter. The final line must say pass. One valid starter creates one guarded party companion. Type $list exit code and require 0. If the valid starter is rejected, run the Chapter 6 content validator and inspect Bramblebud's id and his starter toggle. If a second starter succeeds, confirm has starter is the first guard and choose starter. If active companion is null, inspect the party assignment and CreatureInstance constructor. If the command cannot find GameSession, inspect the script path and the first parser error. Repair the earliest failing state rule before changing labels or buttons. UI cannot repair a broken owner. Press F5. Before speaking with Sola, press P. The panel must say no companion yet and visit the bond house. Close it. Enter the bond house, speak with Sola, and choose one card. Movement must return. The HUD must name the chosen companion, and P must show the matching affinity, current and maximum resolve, and field note. Close the panel. Speak with Sola again and confirm her partner dialog appears instead of reopening the ceremony. Leave the bond house, then enter again. The HUD and party panel must still show the same companion because GameSession survived the map replacement. Speak with Sola once more. The ceremony must remain closed. Stop the game and run again. The companion resets because this chapter does not write save data. That reset is expected, not a bug. We have proven in-session continuity without making a false persistence claim. If a card does nothing, confirm selected is omitted and main connected it. If the party resets at a doorway, confirm GameSession is the autoload and refresh HUD runs after map loading. If the ceremony opens twice, keep both the main condition and choose starter guard. If P opens behind dialog, restore the modal return at the top of unhandled input. If a label says node not found, compare the exact scene tree path. Change one cause, rerun one check, and keep notes instead of making several guesses at once. Save every script, scene, resource, and project setting. Close Godot. Preserve the folder as glimmergrove_07_first_companion. Re-import that exact folder. Run the Chapter 6 content validator. Run validate first companion. And complete the full visual playcheck. The recovery zip and its SH256 checksum are linked below. You now have one guarded runtime companion, state-aware dialog, a text party panel, and map safe in session continuity. In episode 8, we will use that companion in the first friendly battle without moving ownership back into the UI.